interviews, dialogue, and we will have a walking pilgrimage. So we're starting off with the women of faith. We are lucky to have three people we've invited. You can see them here on the screen and in person. First is Reverend Grace Moon. She works with the Christian Conference of Asia since Hong Kong or
No.
since Thailand.
Yes, in
When-
2012 I started.
From 2012. So she's a pillar of the Christian Conference of Asia. All churches, mainline churches of Asia, including MBC, MCC of Myanmar, are members of the Christian Conference of Asia. And then Seama, Esther, have been living in Thailand for some time. And we went out to have Vietnamese dinner or something, a lunch together one time with Dr. Lee. And she's a principal of a school here. And some of you know Seama Esther because your daughters are in her school. Okay, welcome. Okay, so this project is storytelling. Why storytelling? It's a new method being revived because in the past it's all lectures by professors and so on. We're going back to the oral history. We're looking at the lived experiences of people. So we're now looking at the lived experiences of three women of faith. We start off with two and maybe Nai will join us later. So I'll ask one after the other. Reverend Grace Moon, could you tell us something about your family background and where are you from? Are you with one ethnic group or something? Tell us, please.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Grace Moon, but my Korean name in full is Chung Eun Moon. And as most of Northeast Asians have their names in Chinese characters, my Chung Eun, my first name, means righteousness and grace. So that's why I named my English name, nickname, as Grace. So you can call me Grace. I am from South Korea, and I'm from a very conservative Christian family backgrounds. And I am half South Korean and half North Korean. I'm not sure whether you know or not, Korean Peninsula is still divided into two, North and South. So northern part of Korea is ruled by communist, and South Korea by capitalist government. So we are still struggling with our ideological identity. So my grandparents and my mother migrated to South during Korean War. So my dream is to visit my mother's home village in North Korea. This is me, and as he introduced me, I am working at Christian Conference of Asia for last 12 years as a program coordinator. Nice to meet you.
Seama Esther.
Okay. Hello, Minglava. As you all see, I'm from Myanmar, and I'm Chin ethnic. And then I moved to Chiang Mai 14 years ago, studied in Higher and graduated at TESOL department. And then since I finished my studies, I continue serving here at the church school. And we started our church school a year after I finished my studies in Higher. And then we have been running a small scale church school in a great church in Chiang Mai. The name of our school is the Seed Christian School, and at the moment we have 66 students. It is an individualized, self-directed learning system, and it's very special and very challenging at the same time. Yeah, we are like introducing a new kind of learning system rather than a teaching system. And then my father was a vet, and my mother was an ordinary housewife. And my father passed away about 13 years ago. And I have two brothers, one elder brother and one younger brother. My elder brother and family, they live here, and then they are planning to move to the Philippines soon. And my younger brother's family, they live in Myanmar. And I was born in Kalenyu, in Sagaing division, but grew up in Yangon. And while my father was in government service, we moved several places. And then he got God's calling to serve full time when I was about grade 1, and then he took invalid pension, and then he served full time, and then he retired as a pastor. And my elder brother was a pastor for 10 years, and right now he served as a missionary for Bible study. And then my younger brother is also a missionary, working with the Bible study together with my elder brother. So my background is quite, the Christian, service, family. And my mother is quite a devoted mother. And I would say I'm here today because of my mom. Yeah. Okay, nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you. So we see for both of them, they have very complex identities and backgrounds. Reverend Grace has both North Korea and South Korea connection. Seyama, some people have noted that Seyama looks like Thai because she's been living here for quite some time, and she's family all over the place too. So I'd like to ask a second question. So, what is your religion, and how does it affect your gender roles in general? Reverend Grace first.
The Christianity itself is a very hierarchical. If you read the Bible, you can find the culture, the background culture in the Bible, which is very patriarchal community. Likewise, Korean society itself is a very patriarchal, hierarchical society. So there's a saying that when hands cross, hands means female cheek, female cheek. When hand cross, family fails. So the women should keep quiet in the family, also in the community. So that culture is similarly, exactly reflected to the Christian life in the Korean churches. So, yeah.
Does it affect like home life? Are women expected to take care of the children's needs every day?
Yes,
And
the gender roles was totally divided into two parts. Female take care of the family work, and fathers earn money for the living. But now, time changes. It is very much changed about the gender roles in the society. We can see the great rapid changes in the gender role.
And Seyama, Esther?
Okay. I think I have pretty the same background as Reverend Grace, and we grew up in the Christian community, society, and of course, we were in a male-dominant society, as we all know. But when I reflect to the time, the upshift, and I think my mom's generation was probably the last generation who suffered the most. And in my generation, I don't really feel much the differences, thankfully. So this is my experience. And in the churches, of course, women we didn't have chance to take the important role in the church, management or pastoral roles, and then the percentage of male pastors and female pastors is very different until now. So I don't really understand why, but in the seminaries, I think more women takes more part in the teaching role, but pastoral role, I think more male until now. Yeah.
Okay, so we see both in Korea, South Korea, and Myanmar, gender role in general, in traditional sense, is very well established. It's male centered, and females have to do their work. However, in both cases, changes are taking place in both South Korea and in Myanmar. Still slowly in Myanmar, maybe a little faster in Korea. Okay. Now I'd like to ask you about your life as a girl, and how was the socialization? What were you taught? What are the gender roles as a little girl growing up? Reverend Grace.
I am the eldest among 3 daughters. So my family is a female-dominating family. So in the family, I didn't feel any discrimination between the male's role or female's role. But as my father started his pastoral ministry in the churches, I could feel a strong difference between how they treat male, how they treat women. So that was my question for all my life. So you should not run in the church. You should wear skirts on Sundays, and you should not wear blue-colored sneakers. That's for men. And you'd better serve food for the congregation members while the male members are sitting on the table. So this kind of gender mindset was very strong in my early age. But now the trends changes as women's role, and there's no different view on gender roles. Nowadays, the secular societies are very much neutralized, but still the church is behind in developing the gender roles.
Thank you. Sayama?
Yes. There is one incident that stuck in my mind. It's happening a long time ago, that I feel like, there is some discrimination among gender by my mom, my own mom. That was when I was in grade 2. We visited to Mandalay, and then we went up to Mandalay here, and then they sold some the toy gun made of bamboos. And then my 2 brothers, they got the guns, and then I also wanted one toy, but my mom told me, "You are a girl, you don't need it." That I couldn't forget until now. It's stuck in my mind all the time. But I didn't mean that my mom didn't love me. She loved me. She loves me very much. But that's kind of like, they are boy, that's why they got a toy. But you are a woman, a girl, that's why you don't get anything. Things like that. So, it happens. And then, and the way we dress, like Dr. Reverend Grace said, we need to be preserved. And then we should not sit like men spreading or and laugh out loud, things like that. So girls, we are expected to preserve, and we need to maintain and preserve our dignity. So men, they can go out everywhere they want, but women, we are supposed to stay at home and be obedient and serve the family and serve meal. So this is the expectation. And then one thing it has been getting better as time passed by. But the school that I'm working for, the curriculum that we use is a Christian curriculum. It is still quite very male dominant, the philosophy. And like for girls, we should not wear like the dress which is above, maybe shorter than our knee length, things like that. And then when we have the sports events, then women, we are not supposed to wear pants, but like at least culottes, things like that. So there are some things still existing, but gradually it's getting better. And then my mom, she never allows me to wear jeans as well. Jeans are not for women. Until now, I don't have jeans. And then I'm not supposed to wear shorts as well. Whenever I wear shorts, even for sports, my mom always like pointed me, you are a girl, or you are a principal. This is not the type of dress you should wear, things like that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sayama. So Sayama have partially answered my question about your experiences in school. So I'll ask Reverend Grace, what about your experiences in school, aside from the clothing, the treatment of the teachers, or do you see difference? And maybe the food that you eat, everything about your experiences in school, as a woman, as a girl, I should say.
Yeah, every semester, all the classes elect a leader of the classroom. And the teachers has a very strong mindset that, the main leader of the classroom should be a male student. And the female, vice leader or supporting leader. So although we are equal as a student status in the schools, we were treated easily as a second level student because we are female, because of our gender. So that was, and also, this is not when I was young, but when I was raising my daughter, my daughter brought the photo cards from the kindergarten, and there was about the job, nurse, painter, teacher, politician, blah blah blah, truck driver, and most of the characters in the photo cards were male. I could find only one female female photo card. It was nurse. So, wow, still the main mindset about the gender roles has not been changed from my younger age to my daughter's age. So I had to make complaint to the kindergarten. You better not educate our children with a very separating or the patriarchal mindset about the job opportunity and also the gender roles.
Oh, Reverend Grace was a feisty, fighting girl in school, demanding equality. What about when you were teenagers, like the rite of passage? Was there special when you became a teenager? And do you have, I don't know, in the West you have parties with boys. I don't know about Korea and then Myanmar, your own experiences. Reverend Grace, how was your becoming a teenager like, as a girl, and into a woman, in between?
In Korean curriculum, for the middle and high school students, there's subjects for the housekeeping work. That is one subject only for girls, housekeeping work. and for boys, it's the technical skills. So the carpenting and how to repair the electronics, that was the subject for only for boys. And for girls, housekeeping. So how to make a dress, how to cook, how to measure the dress, and how to make the bandage when someone's got hurt. So that was the contents of the housekeeping work and the technical skills for me. So still, I'm not sure it's still that curriculum continues, but in my school age, that was the curriculum for boys and girls. But I heard nowadays there's no division among boys and girls. Boys should learn about housekeeping work, and also the girls should learn how to do the technical repairment at home or in the society. So the curriculum of the schools itself shows the change in our gender roles understanding.
Thank you, but it's still very patriarchal up to now,
Yes.
even if there are changes.
Yes.
Sayama, you want to add something?
Yeah, for us, yeah, I think it's also the same as other, the ethnic groups. Women are supposed to learn how to cook and take care of the household stuff. And then I was also trained to do household chores and cook since I was young. Not my brothers, but me, I was specially trained to do household chores. And then in my culture, usually bachelors, young men, we have a tradition to visit to the girls' place, especially at nights. During the daytime they work, and then during nighttime they visit to the girls' place.
And the parents know.
Yeah, the parents know. And then this is the culture, and until now it's still happening in some places. And then the girls, we need to receive every guest. And then we are not supposed to show partiality, who you like. So every man who are visiting you. And so girls are not supposed to visit to the boys' place, yeah. So we are the receiver and boys are the visitors. And then for teenage boys, they can go anywhere they like. But women, we are supposed to stay at home and stay safe. And then even though we go out, we go out with the companion, like parents or
chaperone.
Yeah.
Seems like Sayama was very popular with boys. Huh? People visiting her.
Yes.
She's counting now in her fingers. Okay, how did you decide to study what you studied? Was it family tradition, your own choice, Reverend Grace? Oh, and what did you study? Yeah. She's doctorate now at Hong Kong University.
In the college, I studied Christian education, and I studied MD later and then THM in theology. So theology and Christian education is my study background. But when I chose my college, I didn't want to go to the seminary. I wanted to study the secular subject, like economics or business. So because my father was a pastor for his life, and pastor and pastor's family are very poor because very low monthly allowance were given for the pastors. And for whole life, I had to suffer for my the tuition fee at the schools, and also my mother had to suffer a lot. So, okay, when I become an adult, the legally adult, I want to be rich. I want to make more money. But yeah, God didn't want me to study the secular subject or to find any job in the secular region. Maybe that was God's plan to lead me to this Christian community as a female pastor. So I couldn't resist. And it's a long story how I got admitted to the seminary. You know, I really resisted a lot. I told my parents I don't want to study theology. I don't want to go to the seminary. I want to be more freer. But yeah, just before my registration to the seminary, I fell sick. I had to have surgery, and I didn't have any choice. That was a deadline right after my surgery, so my parents, especially my father, submitted my registration to the seminary, although I didn't agree. That's how I studied Christian education at the college as a BA bachelor degree. So I was not happy with my school and my study, but that's how God led my life. Okay. Although I wanted to be in the secular society, more and more was strongly drawn to the Christian community. You know, this can be described as a karma in Hinduism. Yeah, it was my destiny. Yes. Sorry for my words.
In Hong Kong, what is your degree?
I am studying PhD degree.
Back to theology.
Back to theology. I cannot resist.
That's your karma.
Yeah.
Okay, Selma, you want to share, please?
Yes. When I finished my high school in 1996, I wanted to be an English teacher at UFL, University of Foreign Languages, and I wanted to study English there. And fortunately, I got that major. And on the other hand, at the time, because of the political situation, the universities were closed for several years. And my university, it didn't open until 4 years after. And then I waited year after year, and during the waiting years, the long waiting years, I learned like some skills. And I waited for 4 years. And then after 4 years of waiting, if I change my major to the distance courses or other majors, then I could have joined, but I resisted. Like, I will wait until they open. And I was very passionate about it. And like Reverend Grace, after 4 years of waiting, my father he forced me to join the seminary. No more waiting, no choice. If you don't join the seminary, I will not support you anymore. So yeah, I remember that day I was crying the whole day. Yeah, and no negotiation anymore. And then I had to join the seminary. But the good thing is the seminary was taught in English. Then I could like still learn some English. And then after 4 years of studying the seminaries for my bachelor, I met a Korean missionary, and then he invited me to work with him for Myanmar Mission as a secretary. And then I worked with him for 8 years. And still, my passion for learning English, to become an English teacher, is still there. And then I took a distant course in history because I was working full time. And then after waiting 8 years, and then I had a chance to study in Prague to learn TESOL. Then at the age of 40, I reached my goal to become an English teacher. But not in the university, but in the school. Yeah, but still I'm content. I reached my goal. And now I finally become an English teacher. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to ask a question about you as daughters and you as mothers. Okay, are there gender norms where women expected to do in your family and community? And tell us if there are cultural constraints. Reverend Grace.
Actually, I got married at a very young age.
Is it love marriage or
Yes,
arranged?
love marriage. So right after my college graduation, I got married quite early. And my husband was a Christian youth leader when all Korea was under dictatorship. So my husband was the Christian youth leader in fighting for the Korean democracy. So as you expect, all this kind of liberal activists should be more democratic and more friendly, eco-friendly, eco-feminist, feminist-friendly. But, so I expected my marriage also would be very democratic. But his personal life was not that democratic and also liberal. You know, he follows a very traditional patriarchal pattern or attitude. So we fought very much. So I can say, I can describe my husband as a person who taught me the meaning of war. So through my husband, through my married life, I learned the meaning of war. What is the meaning of fighting with someone? So you're outside, you are talking about the national democracy. Please achieve your democracy from your home, from your married life. Then the national democracy. You are very hypocrite. So this is how I struggled for the gender role and also for my feminist thought or confidence. Yes.
Thank you, Selma.
Yes, yeah. I think I personally don't really experience that discrimination on gender in my family or society. But my mother was the one who suffered a lot, I would say. And my mom, she was a high school dropout, and then she was very ambitious to go to college and get the job. And then she didn't plan to marry, but to support herself and to take care of her family. But her parents forced her to marry my father because my mom had poor health and my father was a vet. That's why they forced her to marry after she failed her high school 2 years.
It's arranged marriage?
Arranged marriage,
Okay.
yeah. And then my mother, her ambition to become, a graduate, still there. And then she make a vow that, okay, my daughter wouldn't suffer like me. That's why she did her best for my education. So I am the only daughter in my family. Like my brothers, I have the equal opportunity to study, and my mom fully supported me behind. And then during my waiting year for universities, I learned many the skills, and my mom fully supported me. We were quite poor at that time, But my mother saved money for me and then let me learn everything that I wanted. And then, so I think my mom achieved her goal and passion on me. So I'm truly blessed through my mom's sacrifices and supports. And in my family, even though my father was a bit patriarch in mindset, but he loved me very much, and I was a bit unhealthy when I was young, and then he wanted to protect me and give me the best to support myself. That's why I didn't feel much discrimination in being a female in my family, and in my society as well. I didn't feel much discrimination. Yeah. Thank you.
So we see that there are generational differences, and what Seama's mom wasn't able to do, she did it to her daughter, so she could achieve what she wants to do. Now, what about you going out to work? Did your parents say it's okay, and your husband, or is it a struggle? And how do you balance, or do you balance your home life with your professional life? It's a loaded question. Reverend Grace.
Yeah, most working moms or most working wives want to be perfect in everything, in her professional, in her home life. So all the working moms should be a superwoman with a superpower. Do everything, I mean, working 24 hours at home, at the office, at work. But it's not easy to make a balance. You know, we need family members sacrifice for my professional work. And also my children should sacrifice. Although they need mom's care, they have to be more independent for their grandparents or the baby care sitters. So, yeah, I had to struggle a lot. It was not easy to make a balance. And also I had to vote much with my husband because he wants to his own work, not to be cooperated. Because it's not his not kind, or because he's not educated in that way. He's not trained. He was not trained in that way to deal with the housekeeping work or how to deal with the balanced family life. So step by step we had to negotiate after a big quarrel. So I think, you know, you may face also similar challenges in your life, in your wedding life, in your married life, and also in your professional working life. How to make a balance, not hurting your health or physical and mental health. You know, making balance in our life is very important, and the faith, our belief, religious belief, helps a lot also to make balance, to make myself relieve and comfort.
However, in Korea, it's really difficult because in general, people are expected to work overtime without calling it overtime till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really balance, like, even if you're a man, it doesn't matter. So it's harder for a woman.
Yeah, when I was working at the headquarters of my church, you know, I had to bring my little girl to the kindergarten right in front of my office building. And whenever I had to work more until late night, I had to rent one room because my church headquarters was running guest rooms on the upper floor of the building. So I had to rent one room for my daughters to rest, take a rest for a while I was working. So that was a real struggle because, as a working mom, it is not easy.
It's good to have women of faith talking because men don't know these. She had to fight with her husband. Now she knows the meaning of war, not from Oxford Dictionary, from her husband. Sayama, please.
Yeah, well, I married quite late, at the age of 44, and in my culture, men are not supposed to do household chores, and I don't really spend my whole time working at home and being a mother. So I like to pursue my dream and do something which I'm passionate about. And then I make a vow not to get married until I reach my life goal, and then not to get married who, how do I say, try to control over me to do like household chores only. But thankfully, God gave me the best husband I could ever wish for. Yeah. And then one big reason I chose for my husband is he doesn't care about doing household chores. And he knows how to cook, and he likes to do like cleanings and stuff. And he doesn't mind helping me at home. And he's not from education background. And then I'm already here, and then he has to come to my comfort zone, and I become like a queen. So everything is going well in my family, and then there is no civil war at home. Yeah. And during my 4 years of marriage, thankfully we never had a fight. Yeah, thankfully.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I think we both are like quite understanding and quite mature, and then he is fully supported on my work, and I fully dedicated on my work. And then my mom stayed with us, but in different rooms. But my mom still prepared my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I am the real queen. So I'm very fortunate, and thank God that I don't have to go through most Asian women. Yeah. Special
So
case.
Sayama moms doing traditional role for the queen. Okay, both of you have very high position in your own profession. How did you reach it? Is it like normal, or was it a struggle? How did you get recognized? Let's say, I know in South Korea it's really difficult. How did you achieve the height of your success in Korea and here in Thailand? She's running Asia churches. She's really the power behind the throne. She's there. You change your general secretary, Reverend Grace is still there. She's the power behind the throne. Okay, so how did you attain this level of excellence? And how do they treat you as a woman? I know the stereotype of Korea, but your experience, and then Sayama, as a leader, your leadership role.
Yes. Before I joined Christian Conference of Asia in 2012, I worked at the headquarters of my church, the Presbyterian Church of Korea. And when I worked for my church for 8 years, I was in charge of the international ecumenical relations. And when I was the first person in the church, in my church, who received the open announcement of the position in CCA in 2011. So when I opened that email, my mind was very shaken. Oh, this could be a chance for me to extend my boundary. So, and one by one, I started collecting and preparing the required documents for this job application at CCA. And I had to get my church's recommendation and also the NCC Korea's recommendation. So I visited 2 offices, and the leaders of these 2 organizations were male pastor, and they, wow, what a brave, what a courageous decision to apply. And they, okay, I will prepare your recommendation. And I visited them once again, second time, just handing over their recommendation. The one very discouraging comment, okay, don't be discouraged, although you are not get that position, you are not appointed. So, in Korea, although it's a big country, the Christian society is a very small world. So that news spread that I am applying for the CCA position, and most 90% of the people didn't expect, didn't imagine that I may get this job. So I had to fight myself. I had to encourage myself without any support. Only my CEO, my senior in the office, she was the only person who supported me a lot for this application. Anyway, that's how I started my own fight for my own professional. And even that discouraging trend, discouraging mood influenced me a lot. Even though I joined CCA, my self-esteem was 0. I felt like I'm not fit to CCA because nobody supports me, nobody expects me that I am fit to this job. But so I couldn't focus my work at all for months when I first joined CCA. So I started reading the Bible first thing in the office in the morning. In Mark 11, there's the scene that Jesus is entering Jerusalem before his crucifixion on the cross. And Jesus asked the disciples to bring a donkey to ride on to Jerusalem. And Jesus said, tell the owner of the donkey that the Lord needs it. So that the Lord needs it, that phrase really empowered me a lot. Okay, although people may see me as a little donkey without any experience, but to Lord's eyes, I am somehow needed for his work. For CCA's work, I am here because I am needed here. So that empowered me. So I'm still struggling a lot with my professional work to equip myself, to empower myself.
Thank you. At CCA, when I would go home at 8 o'clock, that's already without counting overtime, she's still there every day. And even Saturday and Sunday. So it's a Korean culture in you and the devotion also to her work. Selma.
Yes. When I was in my early teenage years, I struggled with inferiority complex because of poverty of the family and the criticism of my father's ministry. And I didn't want to be in public. I preferred to stay at home. I struggled a lot, like more than 10 years. But I really wanted to achieve my goals, and I never give up until the time comes. There are a lot of waiting time but I never, how do I say, give up. And then when God's time is coming, then God opened the door, and then I have chance to pursue my goal. And then the reason I came to study in Paya is to run my own language center in Myanmar, in Yangon. But when I studied in Paya, we had a chance to volunteer at our the church after school English program. And then a year after I volunteered, I became, the leader, kind of, leader for that program. And then I knew that I had to go home, and then I wanted to contribute something for that program. And then one thing I did was I studied the library for children, and then without resources. So I spent a lot of time or copying and printing and binding for the children's book. And then prepared the curriculum for grade 1 to grade 6 for after school English program. And then it was a volunteer and a part-time job, but I worked like full-time. And then I finished my master's in 5 years. It took me 5 years because I was so much involved in this kind of things. And then I think it paid off, my wishes and then my efforts to contribute something for the well-being of the students. And then when I finished my studies, our pastor invited me to start a full-day school. And then this is how I become a full-time staff at the church. And then starting a church school from zero budget or from nothing is a big challenge. And then I also had to work long hours, like Reverend Grace. We didn't have a school secretary, we didn't have enough teaching staff, and then I had to be wearing many hats. So I would say dedication and the sacrifices paid off, to be who I am today. Thank you.
We see two different experiences, but something that binds them together would be maybe because you're a woman, this is how you're treated. Maybe because you're poor, this is how you feel, your position in society. So these have intersectional effects on the woman's role. I'd like to ask, what about your relationship with male committee members, general secretaries, directors, co-workers? Do they ask for your opinion? Do they treat your opinion with respect? Do they listen to you, or they don't even ask you, the committee members? And do you feel it as a woman? Does that affect you, or everything's okay, we're all treated equally? What about committee members who are from Korea or India or Taiwan or Philippines? Do you see any difference? And what about their own gender roles? Not only in relation to you, but do you see them operate in a certain way? Reverend Grace, so do you feel marginalized, discriminated, excluded, and so on?
I feel more accepted, welcomed when I work at CCA. In my church, I was really discriminated, and I was treated as a second citizen in my church, and they didn't recognize me as an ordained pastor properly, because, for example, when I receive a call in my office in Korea, okay, PCK headquarters, may I help you? The man over the phone says, okay, I want to speak to the male pastor, not you. Okay, I am Pastor Grace Moon. You can speak to me. No, I want to speak with a little higher position. But here in CCA, I am judged and I am evaluated with my work, not with my gender. So that's a great blessing for me. I feel much more comfortable in CCA and why I work with the Christian, the member churches of CCA. But I can see a little difference between the national backgrounds. India, of course, mostly Your Highness in a very former clerical roles. The men are all sitting in the higher position. But how they talk, how they treat women pastor from CCA, it's very beautiful. It's very, very good manner. But in my home country, I am very much discriminated, which hurts me a lot.
Thank you. Seama.
Well, when I work in Myanmar as secretary, most of the staffs are women, so we didn't have a chance to like compete or something. I don't want to say compete or working with the male staff. So thankfully, I didn't experience any difference. And then when I work at the church school, I feel somehow being discriminated, being a woman, even though I'm the principal. So I feel like our pastor, who is the administrator of the school, listen to the male teacher rather than me. So there are times that I feel that way, but thankfully it's not existing anymore. But like not much, I didn't feel much difference. But there are times that our superior tend to listen the ideas of male rather than like female, and even though I am their seniors of this teaching stuff, things like
Okay,
that.
so the experience is contextual. Like Reverend Grace in Korea, yes, there's a male-female divide. At CCA, Reverend Grace is fully respected as she is, based on her performance, not based on gender role. And also with Seama, it's contextual. It depends on the person looking at her. Some would say, just like Reverend Grace, would prefer the views of the men than the women. So there are subtle experiences of gender discrimination. It's more subtle now than overt in the case of Seama. And I'd like to ask also now on moving on to the impact on your life. All of these experiences, how does it affect your feelings? Does it affect your self-worth differently? You might have discussed this already, but if you want to go deeper, and psychological effect, trauma, if you went through some. Reverend Grace.
Yeah, recently I read one article, and one of the lines in that article mentioned that it's from African saying, to raise one child, whole family, whole community, whole nations need to focus on nurturing one child. I think it applies to every one of us. Okay, as I am now, I think I am just become the program coordinator of CCA at one time, with a quick blink. No, I think for last 12 years or more than 20 years, I was trained one step by one step. So all the compiled experiences and trains and also the supports of my churches and my family and my relatives, friends, these are all combined together to make me as I am now. So in my poster, I quoted one verse from the Bible that by the grace of God, I am who I am. So by the grace of your family, teachers, friends, we are who we are now.
Okay. Yeah, well, I don't really have much experience as the middle-aged women, I would say, because I was brought up in a loving and caring family and supportive family. That's why, thankfully, I didn't have much bad experiences or any much challenges. There are some like the point that I feel or I experience the unfair, but they are not big deal. And there were times that I feel like the down or I feel like almost give up, but I think the most important thing is having a supportive family and surrounded by healthy community. I think this is an important the support to rise up again. So I would say building a healthy family and community is the key for like success and achieve our goals.
Thank you, Seema. We will now move on to another theme, which is when did you start to speak out against the inequality and the injustice, and who were there behind you to help you in your speaking out? I think Reverend Grace already said, why are you teaching girls only how to do homemaking? She already started the Okay, when are the nodal points in your life?
I introduce myself. I am from very conservative Christian family background. You know, my family, my father especially, was a very piety Christian pastor. And so, because of this family mood, I thought, okay, churches do evangelize the people to be a Christian, or all the religions do their ministry, religious ministry, to make Buddhist, Hindu, Sikh, whatever. But when I attended CCA's assembly, which was held in 1990, I attended that assembly as a youth steward, and in one morning worship, in one morning prayer, I saw the young people do some performance about the human trafficking or drug addiction. So in the middle of the worship, in the middle of for their prayer to God, they showed the serious concern about the human rights, the youth struggle like drug addiction and jobless and poverty, which I've never heard of, I've never experienced in my church life. So that was my turning point. Oh, we should be more concerned about the social issue, not only evangelizing the people. Even in the church, we should have more concern, more wide eyes to see the struggles of our people. That was my life turning point, to open my eyes wide. So after 1990 CCA's assembly, I really committed to attend many CCA programs. And after 20 years or 30 years, I am here as a full staff member of CCA.
Yeah, CCA is not evangelizing as a CCA. The churches do. It focuses on many things. The work of God, on the mission of God, and looking at the image of God. So human trafficking, drug addiction, joblessness, migration, statelessness, all refugees. These are all issues of CCA, and violence against women, human rights, HIV/AIDS. These are all social issues.
Because in Jesus' life, Jesus didn't only evangelize the people. Jesus evangelized, and also he healed the sick. He healed the sick society, and also he educated the people, especially his disciples. So in our life, in our religious ministry, these three should be holistically worked together. Preaching, healing, educating.
Yeah, thank you. Sam,
Yes. Well, there will be several ways to act for change. For me personally, I don't really think this is, this is not my way, like provoking and strive and fight for like gender equality or freedom. So not violently, but my way of like the acting for change is by showing in action. I could do what men do, and then through hard working and through dedication and perseverance, the women can achieve things too. So I prefer to show in action, and it may take time, but when the time comes, people will acknowledge, and then without like trying to get a place for ourselves, but the place will be open for us if people acknowledge our hard works and achievements. So this is my way of like the acting for change. And my turning point for leadership role is we need to have the mindset of leadership. So my understanding of leadership is servant leadership, not taking the leading role. So like serving for the benefits and well-being of others is a leadership. And then if people see how we dedicate and we serve other people, then automatically there will be a place for us. So this is my understanding for leadership and the act for change. Yeah. Thank you.
similar with CCA, servant leadership is the model of leadership of CCA. And now, what is your vision of justice for what would a fair society for women look like? And what is the message, the advice you want to give girls and women? It's my last question for both of you.
No. I used to question God, complaining, why me? I want to live a very normal housewife life, doing housekeeping, just spending my husband's money and raising my children. Why me? Why I should be here in Chiang Mai? Why me? That was my prayer. But one day, I changed my prayer. Why not me? Why not me be a leader of my church? Why not me be a more leading position? Why not me do this and that? So don't withdraw yourself. You know, girls are so much forced to keep quiet, to stay in a margined place, margined position. But don't limit our boundaries. Don't limit your zone. We need to develop more widely and widely. And just think of yourself, empower yourself, keep praying, keep studying, and keep reflecting about yourself. Oh, am I in a right track in my life? Am I doing this right? Am I deciding correct decision for this? So reflecting about yourself, your decision, your life. So these three will guide you a way to achieve your goals.
Wonderful. Last word from Seoma.
Okay. Well, thinking about God's creation as men and women, and thinking about nature, I don't think we should go against nature. If we go along with nature, everything will go smooth and it will be perfect, it will be beautiful. But if we try to go against nature, then we suffer. In Myanmar, we are suffering in many ways. And then God created men and women in a special way. So I cannot pretend to be a man, or men cannot be a woman, because we are differently designed, and our body structure, our way of the thinking and the brain function, everything is different. So the men and women are like this. So our weaknesses are the strength of the men, and if we try to connect these two together, it will be very beautiful. But if we try to win or compete, who can do more, then everything will be in chaos. So we need to know our uniqueness, and we need to know our mission. What am I good for? What he is good for? And then if we focus on our own strength and ability, then if we try to accept the differences, then I think we can work together. And I think we can create a beautiful world and beautiful society and a successful community and bring peace. So this is my
Thank you, Sam. Let's give a round of applause to our women. But we're not done yet. I would want to go around the table. What are the lessons you have learned? Quickly, like a few words or one sentence each. And what is your hope for the future? Talking about the role of women in society. We'll go around this way around the table. What lesson did you learn? And your hope for the future of women in a just society?
And I learned a lot from Reverend and also Principal. And we have challenges. Gender discrimination is a reality, and most of they have a patriarchy society. They grow up, but they didn't give up, and they have I learned they are resilient and they are adaptation themselves, and that is real empowering for me. Yeah, so we can change our society starting with ourselves and our mindset, and also family is very important role. So yeah, and also their belief, their goal, they continually keep going and trying hard to get their goal and succeed. So thank you so much for your sharing story. Yes.
Thank you. I respect men and women, but let's give women the chance to speak. Huh? So I'll ask the women first. If we've time, men. We'll reverse the role.
So as I listen, I was also able to reflect our own situation as well. Like I'm from Myanmar, but I'm also that Chen. So we also reflect that in our situation, there are still a lot of violence against women, and also, like a lot of discrimination in church as well. Like we, as Christian, we do not have, we cannot have a woman pastor. So even if some of the women are trying to change this, there are a lot of resistance in our community. So we have a theological college, but women go to the theological college, but they can never become a pastor, even if they try really hard. So as I listen to you, and I also able to reflect my own situation, and I also done like sometimes we also consider ourselves why me, a lot of reflection on it. Why me to, why not me? We as women, we also have to expand our boundaries, and also like not limit ourselves into thinking of, like this is my role, but a lot of people can contribute for the betterment in our society. So that's what I'm able to reflect on that and inspire.
Okay, thank you. Those who self-identify as women, yeah, please, yes.
How do
We
you
respect.
identify me? How do you identify me, not a woman?
No, everyone, because I don't know who. I'm not talking you specifically. I'm saying anyone who self-identify.
Okay, so as biologically, we be defined as woman. Okay, I learned so much from both of the speakers, and mostly I learned from Siama that the last word is it was just a very peaceful opinion, because Siama is taking men as the alliance for the revolution for the women. So we can use both strength from both sides, not only from the men but also from the women. So we can create a more peaceful world. So from my past experiences, I've seen so many women fighting to get the role above men. So we can use also men from as the alliance to get what we want from women. So I see Siama very quite different from another woman I have experienced. So that was my lesson learned. Thank you.
Thank you. So, yeah.
Yes, same with her, the last speech you mentioned. So I recognize and realize that, it can be because originally I'm from one organization. I will say I'm a feminist. So mostly we just see like men and women are different. That's why we are fighting for women's rights, something like normally. For today, so I have a learn for you. So that was also it can be in terms of we need to change our perspective or our approach. That would be very helpful. Also, you invite them to different the professional these ladies. I may say the same. So different story I have learned. So how you struggling, or how you are going to be support your family or your husband, or that we are in different region, even we are different region or different country, but we can see that in our neighbor or our society or most of women are put in stereotype or something like that whenever we are from. So, same challenges and difficulty we face it. I can feel that because I'm also working with women, so that I very close this kind of situation. So I really understand them for that. So I can learn how you are powerful, how you are strong, and also the thinking of your positive ways that is very meaningful for me that I have in that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Whoever's next.
Just wanted to say thank you for coming out, and I appreciate all the knowledge and gems you have dropped on us this morning. It means a lot. What I learned most during this talk is representation matters, and I appreciate y'all for following God's will to put yourself in the position of leadership service for your communities and for the world. As I consider myself transgender and two-spirit, meaning that I embrace both of my femininity and my masculinity in my culture in America. And so I can very much relate to your upbringing, being from a matriarchal family, growing up with my grandmothers in a rural area, raised in the church. And so it's very much a part of my life. What I'm learning most in this moment is that, yes, aside from representation mattering, but we do need to see both sides of everyone. The femininity and the masculinity is very both yin yang together is very much beautiful. And I do believe that, yeah, just as men can be soft and gentle as well, I have seen in my family from very fierce women that are very strong. And so both are necessary, and though we may be different physiologically, our spirits, we should balance out both for all people. So thank you. Thank you for your time.
Who's next?
Thank you. I already have overall different perspectives background, so thank you for that. And for me, I just got out of Myanmar recently, so I have quite experience in Myanmar, and there's also like we don't even have enough visibility like electricity or some kind of like imports or output products, we cannot afford it, or that if we have money, we cannot like buy it. So, or like, I consider about myself like the generation cycle, like we have passed through generation by generation. So, I grew up myself, I come from the very dysfunctional family, very strict and religious family. So, on my face is like the acceptance. I accept my parents and like the way they are, they will never change. So I accept, and like there's like no gender issue like within the acceptance within my family. So I keep going, and I keep the peace within my family. So that's the way how I walk. Also I reflect when I go here, like this grace and like Samar Esther, is really benefit for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
I really appreciate very good experience to our. I think Asian women have more experience. I mean, for them, and they know really the exact what like feminism means. I really appreciate it, and I found mom very important if they support you. Let's say in China, mom always support boys, sons, they don't support daughters. So it's like for them, if we talk about work, and life balance, I think they don't understand because they have mom and wife for them, so they don't need to like house jobs. So I think for them very hard to understand. But for us, like I think yeah, definitely, women very hard to balance their work and life. And yeah, the mom do the traditional house jobs for the daughter. I really envy it because for us very hard to get it. And in China, like I think it's worse than Korea because the church they don't allow women to be the pastor. I think even they don't allow women to speak in the church. They think woman you don't have the how to say you cannot speak because you are not a man and men have the power, men have the knowledge. So I think yeah, still very severe discrimination in China by the Christian community. I hear about my friend talk to me, yeah. But here in Chiang Mai, I hear some church supported, like they will talk about culture, they will care about social issue, and there is like black women, they care, they talk about human trafficking. Also, so I think it's very important that you have a good environment. So if the environment don't support you, just leave it and go to another place that support women, support minority. So I really appreciate it. And about the revolutionary people, revolutionary men, they always want to have a revolution with women, like they have win the war or they have this democracy, but when they want to, the women want the leadership of the population, they don't allow women to have it. Like before in China, 100 years ago, they raised my monarchy kingdom, but women fighting with them together. But after revolutions win, but the men don't allow women have the vote right. So women very angry. I think it's very normal situation that men fighting outside the family, but they don't support women in the family. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We have 4 more women with Dr. Mondas. Yeah. Could we, next, please? Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your experiences. And can I share my experience? I hope it's
In 1 to 2 minutes.
oh,
Not storytelling, 10 to 11:30.
so I hope it's safe here because
Okay.
not long ago, like few months, it's Jubilee 40th Jubilee in the current community. So the participants, like 40 men, are going out on the stage.
In Mela. Yeah? Okay.
I don't want to mention.
Okay.
So only one female go out, so participant, and that one female is a foreigner, not a Korean. So it's already shows so much of the gender equality and so much discrimination in a very like in the surface fine, but inside is still much. And most people who work in there are not the laymen, but they are educated ones. So yeah, so I'm also thinking of writing my paper on this. So yeah, so thank you so much for being a woman of faith, and I'm also looking forward to be one of you. So thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you so much. Next.
Firstly, I would like to thank you for your experience sharing. I think myself now I'm very thankful to my family because of my family's hold to 100% to be known again who I am. And because of I have got married for 11 years ago, and then I have 2 sons, but I don't know how to take care of the babies. So, as a queen, and then I believe that for the whole life, all of the women have a chance to be a leader and 100%. So I absolutely agree it. But the most recent is the we have to prove that which category apply us leader or apply us decision maker, something like that. So finally, I will thank both of you. All we have to change the mindset because of we have to be respect each other. That's all.
Thank you. And Dr. Mon.
Thank you both, Reverend Grace and Master. And I both from different women faith I learned. Even though we are in the tradition of patriarchy or matriarchy, because we have both existed long time ago. These are the tradition. We can change it. Also, like mother, also very important in the family to change that tradition. So I learned from both of you about that. You are the woman who can change the tradition. So thank you for sharing your stories.
So anyone wants to give a last, mega last, hyper last, super last word?
Dr. Ray, you are discriminating the men. Huh? Let them speak. I had to fight for the men. I should fight for the men.
So men will feel for the first time you are discriminated.
You let them keep quiet.
Okay, one man
Keep
wants to
them
talk.
quiet.
One man. Reverend Father George is so angry now. Reverend Father George. Diocesan.
Thank you very much, my Reverend Grace and Sister. I'm learning so many from your sharing. So I'd like to say only struggling with stick up to now when we are alive. So never give up. We are focused on for the good, for the betterment, for that. And also I learned more work on but also we need to know our uniqueness and we need to also acknowledge the other goodness and we need to learn what is good for us for the other. And we have to have the spirit of dedication and sacrifice and perseverance. In that way we will achieve our goal. That is
Thank you, Father. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for hearing my very personal stories. I want you are not disturbed with my own sharing stories. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, thank you.
Seba, super last
Yes.
word.
Thank you very much for opportunity to share my life story with you. It could be quite personal, but I hope you learn something out of it. So let us work together. Let us fight together for the well-being of this community. Yeah, rather than fighting each other and fighting for the position. Thank you.
So we've seen two women of faith from two different contexts with very complex history and very different experiences. Some good, some bad, but in conclusion, we were saying that we should all work together, find our proper role, and also serve the interests of the people and use servant leadership, both of them said. And bring about justice in our society. Thank you, everyone. Next week we will have LGBTQIA+ here. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's lunch outside. Yeah.